chip stocks soaring almost 20% this year. So how do you play this red-hot group? Bob Pisani at the New York Stock Exchange has our ETF Edge today. Hey, Bob.
Good to see you, Scott. The SMH, the semiconductor ETF, is up around 1% today. That's extending the rally this year. Now, some of the biggest names in the SMH include Intel, NVIDIA, and Broadcom. Kim Arthur of Main Management, Todd Rosenbluth of CFRA joining us right now. Todd, SMH isn't the only way to get into the semiconductor space. You've got the SOXX, you've got the XSD as well. How do you play semis given the momentum we've got?
Yeah, I think you really have to determine whether or not you like the large cap, mega cap companies that you mentioned, like Intel. So Intel is a 13% position in the SMH, hefty weighting again in the SOX product, where it's more of a 2 or 3% weighting with an XSD. So if you think that small caps are going to do better in the semi space, as they've done to start this year, then XSD from State Street is a better way of going.
And Kim, we like to educate people about what's in these ETFs. That's the whole point here of our show. And the important thing is, he's right. The small cap ETFs, the small cap semiconductors, have done better. So that equal weighted, the XSD, which is equal weighted, has outperformed some of the market cap weighted indexes like the SMH.
That's exactly right, Bob. The other thing to keep in mind, this year has been a cyclical risk-on rally, so small cap growth is leading every asset class year to date for the U.S. side. So the XSD gets you clearly that smaller cap exposure. It's an equal weighted. If you look on a valuation basis, it's still a couple multiple points below its historic valuation on a forward basis. So there's probably still some room to run for that.
And yet the market buys market cap weighted indexes. The SOXX and the SMH both have far more assets in them than the XSD. The XSD is equal weighted. How long before investors start to believe maybe we should change the way we start investing in these indexes and buying these ETFs?
So I think the education helps, and we see strong performance like we're seeing this year. That may help. But people tend to recognize the names within these market cap weighted oriented portfolios. So you tend to buy what you know from where it is. I would also add that semi-equipment companies you'll also find in SMH where you won't find that in XSD.
More diversification of the top 10 holdings in both the SOXX and the SMH, 60% of the assets. With the equal weighted XSD, only 30% are the top 10 stocks. So it's a difference in the way you want to look at the markets, guys. For more ETF Edge, check out our live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.